Filibuster is not used by Republicans to bring the Senate together.
It's called the filibuster.
The filibuster.
The filibuster.
We ought to get rid of the filibuster.
The way the filibuster came to be was not at all the intention of the founders. They made it pretty clear when they were designing the Constitution that most decisions in the House and the Senate would be decided by majority vote. So that makes it fairly clear that they expected that the Senate, like the House and like most legislatures around the world, both then and now, would be deciding both their rules and their legislation by majority vote. So the key thing that allowed it to happen, or at least that truly opened up the door for it, was a rule change that was made in 1806 by Aaron Burr. Theoretically, the idea was that he was just sort of cleaning up the rules. He noticed that there was this rule about ending debate that had never been used. Unfortunately, the result of that was that with no rule to end debate, that opened up this pathway for what is essentially a supermajority requirement. It was really only in the 1950s that it began to be used much more famously to block civil rights legislation.
There will be, I'm sure, filibuster, and we will definitely protest this. We will lobby in Washington seeking to get congressmen, senators to stand up in a very firm, forthright manner with a determination to see this bill through.
You know, there's this problem of like, how do you change the filibuster because the rule change requires a supermajority? So how do you change that? One of the solutions that they came up with was the so-called nuclear option, where you sort of claim that the rule is what it isn't, and then you have a vote on that, which is majority rules. When there's a small number of swing voters in the Senate who can be potentially persuaded, like, it actually makes sense to have debates because you actually are trying to change people's views. The problem with the filibuster is essentially it creates a large block of senators who are blocking things. So changing the rules to make it more majoritarian will also, I think, change the way debate works. And that way, the public gets feedback about what kind of policies one party and the other produce, which again is more informative to the people who actually matter, which is the voting public.